Telugu film fans, I just really want to know from all the interviews I have seen, is the director of Raja Saab really having some beef with Prabhas? Because I don't know why, but every time I see his interviews and translate those clips, it seems like he's throwing him under the bus and evading taking responsibility for the quality of this film. You know me, if there is a choreography that really becomes the talk of the town, I have to talk about it. So let's dive deep on Naache Naache. The Tamil music album created for the Raja Saab has been a mixed bag till now. While I have only enjoyed Rebel Saab, and I'll tell you exactly why in a few minutes, to sit through the choreography of Sahana Sahana and Naache Naache has been nothing but an eyesore. The hardcore fans immediately get defensive if anything is mentioned regarding this movie, but I just want to convey that there has to be an equal playing field in praise and criticism for movies and actors across the board. How is it that we are comfortable in dragging and critiquing certain actors, but when it comes to some beloved stars, we start citing excuses as if they should be immune to it? The most in-demand record label associated with movie releases right now, for the vintage library that they possess. But I think all the goodwill that was established by Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani and Dhurandhar, two movies that actually integrated classical songs in the screenplay very well, is absolutely being tarnished by Tu Meri, Main Tera, Tu Meri, and the Raja Saab. To refresh your memory, Karthik in the terrible movie did a full medley that included classics like Sajan Ji Ghar Aaye and Saat Samundar, where he danced with quick style and literally did social media meme steps. I thought the writing in Hindi films had reached the pits. I did not know that even choreography is now being picked up from memes. Anyway, the Raja Saab and the need to remix Naache Naache, a vintage banger by Bappi Lahiri and sung by Usha Uthup, gets a new rendition where Prabhas dances, if we can call it that, with the three ladies, Nidhi Agerwal, Malvika Mohanan and Ridhi Kumar. I posted my initial thoughts about the choreography comparing the editing pattern to a rave party, and most people did not understand what I meant by my assessment. Replying back that a party song has to be edited like a party now, what kind of analysis is this? This is where I have to reference with examples of the kind of party songs and how they are edited. When you think of a regular party song set in an outdoor location, think of Akhiyan Gulab featuring Shahid Kapoor. Laid back and minimal cuts. When you think of a ballroom party, a classical feel to it, think of Main Parwana featuring Ishan Khattar. Long shots of stylized jazz choreography, both sequences having a clarity of movement because shots are allowed to sit for more than 4 seconds. However, when I do compare any dance number or its editing style to a rave party, it is usually associated with a prerequisite that the visuals signify the characters tripping out, lacking any kind of cohesion or structure. Think of one of the most trolled songs back in the day, the Dum Maro Dum remake song. For those slightly younger, you may not know that the iconic lines "Unche se uncha banda poti pe baithe nanga" is etched in every millennial's memory. The editing pattern is associated with fast cuts to signify the theme of the party. The shapes and effects of a song like Babaji Ki Booty are specific to the state of the characters. However, this fast-paced cuts with the added overkill of flares, glass reflections, doubling characters and dancers crowding the frame like they've reached Rajiv Chowk is all intended to distract the viewer versus to add to the aesthetic of the music video. The editing pattern of Naache Naache really reminds me of the Kasam Se clip, where it feels like the editor had been working overtime and just placed every single transition he had on his editing software. Can I on a side note say something completely off topic? This look. The look of a t-shirt and an open check shirt on top of it to signify style in a leading hero has become so dated that I really want people to understand that this is not 2012 anymore. This is what I felt about Hrithik Roshan's styling in War 2 also, where this t-shirt with an open shirt look truly feels like an older man cosplaying to fit into a younger group and looking extremely outdated in the process. It reminds me of when I used to wear this combo and step out of Vishwavidyalaya metro station for DU. The auto bhaiyas and rickshawalas would already assume that I'm not from a prestigious college. I mean, look at the way Prabhas is styled in Mirchi and see how good those shirts look. It seems like we have, from a fashion perspective, progressively become more shabby. And don't get me started on the costumes worn by Prabhas in the music video. Seriously, I want to know, What happened to how we styled our leading heroes? I had a few days ago tweeted and asked people on X what is the need of these backlights in film, especially when the shot is set in an outdoor location. And most people conveyed on how it allows for layers, helping in possibilities of underexposure through natural light, so the primary focus lands on the main character. And to that I ask, genuinely tell me, what am I supposed to see in this frame? Where is the focus here? Is the intention to look at the sun or just assume that Prabhas is a dashing hero? How this frame even gets approved is beyond my understanding. As I previously said, many of the effects in this music video that includes the sun or backlights skillfully blinding us, the crowded dancers, the fast intercuts between shots, the double effect through reflections are less aesthetic choices and more ways to distract you from a terrible choreography that is also very poorly performed. A small example of this is, do you see this Machis ki Tili in the center with this gucha on his head? Yup, that's from a dance troupe. You know what that is? Yeah. That's me performing at Bits Pilani in 2013, and whenever our choreographer would notice that the troupe is looking uncoordinated, he would add the flickers on stage to mask the problem. In film, there are many editing tricks to mask them. The funny part is that the editor of Raja Saab tried his best but still could not save this atrocity. I've told you about the effectiveness of long shots countless number of times, how when a frame stays, when the movement of the camera is minimal and the actor performs the choreography with ease so that he can at least complete 8 seconds of a combination, it just sticks with you. However, when the average shot duration, and I mean this as no joke, when the average shot duration is 3.5 seconds, a subscriber told me that the total 3 minute and 33 second music video has a total of almost 190 cuts. That makes it almost an average of 1.1 seconds a frame. Can you imagine the absolute nightmare the editor may be going through in order to mask any mistakes? I got a DM from a viewer who told me that the editing pattern is similar to how Coco Melon videos are edited in order to tap into the fleeting attention span of toddlers. And as I don't have one toddler and I haven't done my Coco Melon research, I actually saw 2 to 3 episodes to just see the editing pattern of these videos, and the shots don't remain for more than 4 seconds. Without any editing, I'm going to show you an 8-second clip from the music video, which is the portion where the actors are actually performing the choreography. And just see the number of cuts that exist in the 8-second clip. Now that is absolutely wild. It reminds me of the incessant cuts associated with something as simple as Liam Neeson jumping over a fence in Taken. What's the most irritating aspect of the music video is the lack of detailing in the positioning of dancers and the angles the cameras are placed in, never even in the slightest allowing you to decipher what the choreography is. Anytime a dance troupe is performing, there are formations that are created, for our eyes to assume symmetry. But look at this frame and see how the dancers are even standing. There are people overlapping each other. The camera is not even set in the center to highlight the main actor. And what's even more irritating is that this bottom angle from the side to highlight the choreography is not flattering at all for the actress, actually seeming like a creepy way to get a shot under the talent's clothes versus a camera angle that can actually highlight the movement. There are also some dancers who are dancing their own routine. Brother, what are you doing? This is not the hook step. You are built like a tree. You are not going unnoticed even in the last row. A great example of a bottom shot that actually highlights movement is if you see the World of Dance stage performance by the royal family. A bottom shot staying static and the troupe's focus being at the center of the stage allows for all the formations to look aesthetically brilliant. Contrary to popular belief, because she is not as popular as Nidhi or Malvika, Ridhi Kumar fares the best by having the most fluidity and natural rhythm in this dance number. I must say, even though the women in this music video may be the highlight, there is something really disconnected in Nidhi Agerwal's expressions while performing both the dance numbers from this movie. Almost as if she's annoyed or disinterested. I remember seeing Sahana and Prabhas really going, full on in professing his love to her, and she is just awkwardly smiling, looking at a distance, sometimes not even looking at the star. Both Nidhi and Malvika oftentimes just become blank in their expressions, almost as if they've been forced to do this, whereas Ridhi Kumar consistently is in the zone of the song. Every time a Prabhas choreography is discussed on the channel, the defense talks about Prabhas's immobility and how he has trouble in recovery after surgery, how his legs have not been the same ever since that event. But I want to tell you that the problem is not his lack of movement, but the combination of a terrible choreography and, most importantly, atrocious styling in the music video that makes nothing aesthetically pleasing. See, I'm used to the likes of Salman Khan and Ajay Devgan in their music videos keeping their movement to a bare minimum. But why are some of their dance pieces fun to watch? It's because they are not inundated with cuts that don't even let you see the movement. Contrary to Naache Naache, Rebel Saab is a brilliant example where Prabhas is given minimal movement, but the shots are allowed to stay for at least 6 seconds. This allows for the viewer to not only see the movement with clarity, but breathe as well. The party choreography should never disorient a viewer. It should allow for one to see the movement from start to finish. I am blown away by some of the frames and how crowded they look, especially when Prabhas lands up in the center. Why is Malvika placed awkwardly behind Prabhas? Who is the focus here as Nidhi awkwardly stands in front but at an angle? The music video is shot in picturesque locations, but the frames have such awkward empty spaces that you wonder why the troupe has been placed randomly in this corner in this frame. Both Nidhi and Malvika are extremely stiff in the choreography. Adding fuel to the fire is Prabhas, who with his ill-fitted clothes has feet planted on the floor while the women play around like he is the bars of a jungle gym. The only symmetrical frame for me is the one placed in front of the lighthouse, where at least some movement is done with clarity. The only thing that Prabhas does well in the music video is a pelvic thrust. I know fans justify it in their head that Prabhas is doing this for the fans, he's finally having fun, and we like to see him having fun versus doing the serious action roles he has been doing for the last few years, but this cannot be an excuse for mediocre work. How can that be a defense for an actor and make him immune to criticism? And two, the movie, when releasing on a pan-Indian level, cannot be merely made for a select few fans. The product itself should be of good quality beyond the echo chamber of fans who will lap it up irrespective of the quality. Just because Prabhas is there, a foreign location, crores being spent on this music video, and the product being so lackluster just tells you the crazy amount of investment that goes to waste when someone does not have a clear vision of how a music video is to be captured. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below whether you have some video ideas for our channel. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.